Hey guys, welcome to the channel Golf with James. Now, whether it is Black Friday or the holidays coming up with Christmas or New Year's or whatever, you might have some good opportunities to get a new golf bag. And so what I have here today is the 2023 Ping Hoofer and also the Vessel Player 3. If you're looking at the 4, know that they are very similar. The logo is different on the 3 versus the 4, but functionally it seems like not much has changed. So I think you can take this review as applicable for both the Player 3 and the Player 4. Now, I am gonna have some links down below just to some accessories that you can click on if you are curious about accessorizing your bag, and also links to the bags themselves. But let's go into the video. We'll talk a little bit about what makes these bags a little bit more ideal for maybe one situation over the other. We'll talk about price, weight, the dividers, right, and the material. Hopefully this all gives you a better sense of which one you want to pick up for yourself. All right, let's get into it. All right, so first things we'll talk about is the top divider. Now, the Vessel Player bag comes in either a 6-way divider, or a 14-way divider, and the Ping Hoofer bag comes in either a 5-way divider or a 14-way divider. Now, of those two, I think I much prefer the 6-way divider, and this is why. It's because I'll typically have my bag set up like this. I'll have my wedges here, so 3 wedges, then I'll do pitching wedge through 8, then 6, 7 through 5 over here, my hybrid and my fairway over here, and my driver, the big dog, occupying its own compartment. And the Ping bag is very similar, right? I mean, you could put your wedges and your putter here, right? And then you could put the rest of it kind of how I just described. But I have found that when I do it that way, that the wedges just kind of get mixed up with the putter, right? And it just becomes a little bit more difficult to bring out. Whereas over here, everything kind of has its own place. When I think short iron, I'm going in one. When I'm thinking long irons, I'm going in another. If I'm thinking putter, I'm going for one. And so in that compartment, I think the Vessel is my own preference, right? The actual material, the Ping Hoofer is using this polyester kind of material, and the Vessel Player bag is using a pleather, luxury pleather kind of material, right? And it's pretty clear that the Vessel bag is just a nicer bag, but that's reflected in the price, right? So the Vessel Player bag is about $395, and the Ping Hoofer is $275. So you're paying that extra $100 for just the material that goes into it. But the material does another thing, right? You'll notice here, this Vessel bag, it just seems like it holds its shape really, really well. And so every time I look at it, I kind of get happy. Whereas over here, right, you look at the Ping Hoofer bag, a lot more kind of wrinkles, right, or folds, and that kind of stuff, it might not matter for you. But if you're looking at something that's like a little bit more nice, right, that might be something that you make a consideration for when you're trying to figure out which bag you want to play. Weight-wise, they're about the same. I think the Vessel is about a little bit more than 5 pounds, and the Ping Hoofer is actually 5.5 pounds. So you're not getting much of a difference in the actual weight. I will say that I think the straps are a little bit lighter on the Ping than they are with the Vessel, but the carrying experience, I would say, definitely goes to the Ping Hoofer. I played a couple rounds in Bandon, and one of the things that I really appreciated was that I walked like 5 rounds, and I mean, by the end of it, I was like, give me a cart or a push cart where I can wheel it along. But for the first like 4 rounds, I want to say, I was pretty comfortable. Whereas the Vessel, if you play maybe 36 in a day, by the time you get to like that 30th hole, you're gonna start wondering why you didn't get on a cart. So I do notice a difference there. Now, compartment-wise, it's there's only so many compartments that I think you need to play golf, right? You need something to hold your golf balls, something to hold your rangefinder, some random snacks or your jacket and your tees. And so both bags have that pretty figured out. I mean, if you want a little bit more organization, I think the Ping Hoofer definitely has more compartments. If you look on the side here, you have 1 pocket, 2 pocket, 3 pocket, 4 pocket, right? On the Vessel, you have 1 and 2. And I mean, there's some additional compartments within those actual compartments, but I mean, to me, that's not as much of a consideration. I just want something to hold my jacket and some snacks, my sunscreen, all right? Like, we're not trying to go out on a backpacking trip over here, right? I will say also that the actual experience of riding a cart, one thing you'll notice here, right, is, I don't know if you can see it, but let me get it down. Over here, there's a little strap that lets you make sure that the legs of your bag aren't going anywhere when you have it on a cart, whereas on either a cart or a push cart. But for the Ping Hoofer bag, there's nothing like that. So what I've done in the past actually is buy like a little thing that acts as a strap to kind of hold these secure. And then that way, when my bag starts leaning this way, then the legs don't start trying to splay out. And so if you guys have tried putting a Ping Hoofer or a Hoofer Light on a push cart, and your push cart isn't perfectly dimensioned where it's made for the Ping Hoofer bag, you'll notice that the legs keep wanting to like come out, because all push carts have your bag kind of leaned like this, right? And so when you lean it that way, you kind of get your legs wanting to push out. So, you know, quick summary, if you're only walking, I would say that Ping Hoofer, great option. If you're looking for a little bit more versatility, I would personally go with the Vessel. Now, nice thing about the Ping is that you do have a rain hood in here, and for the Vessel, you do not have a rain hood, although you do get one that comes with the bag, but there's nowhere to store it, right? I don't know about you. If you enjoy playing in the rain, then that might be something that you really care about. But for me personally, I mean, I'll definitely play through some like light mist or something like that, but I won't go out if it's just downpouring or something. So now, which bag would I ultimately want to keep if I had to pick just one bag? And you know what? I think I am going to have to downsize, because I think it just doesn't really make sense to have more than one bag, right? Because you keep all your stuff, like your tees, your balls, all that jazz in one bag, and going from one to another, you start forgetting things, right? If I had to pick one, I would probably go with the Vessel. And let me explain why. This thing has seen probably like 70 rounds at this point, and the pleather looks as good as it did on the first day. And that was my main worry about this bag. That was my number one worry. I thought if it sat out in the sun, it would start bleaching, and it hasn't at all. And just the shape of it, it's held its shape so well, and it gives me confidence that it's gonna look great in another 5-10 years. I've played a Ping bag before, and I had a Hoofer Light, and it was made out of a very similar material as what the Ping Hoofer is currently made out of. And I will say, I mean, it starts showing the wear as you play. And so that's just something that I personally, think about. Hey, is my bag still gonna look pretty good with minimal maintenance when I keep taking it out and in and out and in? Weight-wise also, I mean, I walk, push cart, and use an actual golf cart. The Vessel bag has been fine for all three of those applications. Whereas with the Ping, I have found it pretty freaking annoying to put this on a push cart. And like, it's really, really annoying actually. And what happens too on my push cart is that this leg will splay out and the wheels will start hitting my stand legs. And you're kind of wondering like, dang, is it damaging my bag? But also it just sounds dumb when you're walking throughout the course and you hear this clack, 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 clack thing going on. And you shouldn't have to mod it. That's something that Ping has to address. So hopefully that helps you get a better sense of which one to pick. I mean, during Black Friday, Vessel has had a sale, and I'm pretty sure some outlets are gonna have sales for the ping bag as well. So if it does ultimately come down in price, yeah, that $100 is not insignificant, right? But I would say that if you're gonna go with one bag over the other and you can afford it, I would definitely go with the Vessel. Now, in the Vessel family, there are lighter options if you do like to walk a little bit more, like the VLX and the VLS. And so those are options that you could check out as well. The only thing is, I think on those options, you don't get that 6-way top. And like I talked about, that 6-way top is super nice to just keep things separate in terms of situational clubs. The big dog gets its own compartment, the flat stick gets its own compartment, and everything else can get organized accordingly, right? All right, so that is a quick review of these two bags, and hopefully that helps you make your own decision. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below, and I will try my best to answer. All right, take care, guys.